Kia ora, bringing to you a design team layout for Confessions of a Paper Addict Cutfiles. You can find the store on Etsy. You can also find out other information about pages and things that I've done on Scrappykea on Instagram and on YouTube. I'm going to be using the Heart Frame and the Falling Hearts cut file. Both are by Confessions of a Paper Addict. The Heart Frame is a February release, whereas Falling Hearts has been in the store for a while. So I'll pop the links to those below. I'm also going to be using the Smitten collection by Close to My Heart to put this page together. Love these bright and vibrant colours, and when I saw the Heart Frame cut file, which I believe is going to be very popular with the design team, I've already seen at least 2 come through using this cut file, so it's definitely one worth getting with so many different uses and so many different styles of scrapbooking. Loving it. So I'm going to actually enhance that brightness or that depth with the Smitten collection, and I'm going to use some black cardstock, and I am pushing through some Distress Oxide through the Falling Hearts cut file. So what I did, and I've used this a few times, so I used some stencil paper on the Cricut and I cut out the cut file, which means I have this sort of fabulous heart stencil ready for use for pushing mixed media of all sorts through. So whether it be texture paste or like Distress Oxides here like I'm doing, or even painting through, or gesso, or anything really. So the hearts, because they're sort of quite condensed in the top and then they spread out down the bottom, it means you can use it in heaps of different ways, and I didn't want the uniformity with it because this is just creating a background. So now I'm just using some of the gloss acrylic sprays and I'm sort of splattering them with random effect, trying to sort of make sure there'll be some on the outsides of the layout where the circle won't be. But because I'm going to be putting the circle straight on this background, I wanted to have something that was interest instead of just plain black, so hence the background being splattered and inked up and things like that. So the stencils are a great way to use a lot of these, a lot of the cut files from Confessions of a Paper Addict. They work really well. So I've cut out the heart frame on some white daisy cardstock, and I'm just now going through and selecting what paper or papers I want to have coming through just behind the heart. So I'm not covering the whole circle, I'm just wanting to back the individual hearts on this one. And so I have chosen to do it all one colour. I did wonder about a few, but I felt with adding some colours and making the background interesting with the distressing and things like that, that I didn't need to have too many colours competing inside each of these gorgeous hearts in the heart frame. So I go around and I cut out with the scissors and then finish off with a craft knife. The photo that I'm going to document here is one that I took of my husband and my feet in a spa in Pitcher's store in a wee old gold town, I guess you'd call it, in Ophir, which is in Central Otago in New Zealand. It's an amazing wee spot. If you're there, definitely recommend heading there for the meal's fantastic, the accommodation's gorgeous, and it's just a lovely place to get away from the busyness of everything, and it's not far from home really for me, or from Dunedin or from other places in New Zealand, so in the lower South Island of New Zealand. So definitely recommend that. But it was just really nice. We'd done a little bit of the rail trail, which runs through parts of Central Otago. It's really popular when COVID's not around. It's popular internationally as well as nationally. So another feature, and Ophir's sort of part on that trail, so that you can stop in there and stay if you want a little bit more luxury than some of the places that you could stay at. So I've matted the photo with some of those Smitten papers, and I'm just using my liquid glass here to add some adhesive onto the back of this frame, and I'm going to stick this straight down. I had wondered about lifting it with some foam tape or something, but because the circle part to the right there is quite thin, I didn't want to spend hours cutting out the foam tape, so I didn't. So I've put the photo mat up on some foam tape and wrinkled up the edges of that, just pressing the bits down. I also wanted it to tuck under some of those hearts a little bit, so it looked like it was part of the heart frame, rather than separate. So now I'm just adding some extra adhesive on some of those bits that didn't quite get enough liquid glass on them. So loving the colours here, the brightness of these Smitten papers, as well as those falling hearts just sort of peeking through in the background there. So the sticker collection here is going to be my main form of embellishment. So I'm pulling out some of the cool stickers. There's little file tabs, there's little hearts. Some are great for tucking in behind the actual photo mats. Some are awesome for putting at different places around it. So I've decided that that big pink sticker will sort of be part of the title, but I do go in and add some other letters soon to make that title after I've added a few of the stickers. So I'm going to also look to using a white pen for the journaling, and I've just got one of these white gel pens and I wanted a reasonably thin one for this part. I'd used the 10 for the outside frame that I've done there, so I didn't want the journaling to take over that. The journaling's part of it, but it doesn't need to be a dominant feature. So I use the thinner parts there. So now I'm just adding some extra details on the wee top of that file tab and looking and thinking, okay, so what else could I add? And so I grabbed some of my stickles. And so these are sort of, I've forgotten the name of them as I do this, but they're more opaque dots than glitter dots. So they've got a nice shine to them. And if you squeeze them just right, you get some gorgeous little dots that look like enamel dots. And I decided to do it mostly in sort of that line following the hearts that are over to the left there, and to try and keep it sort of like kind of like the falling hearts stencil, but it sort of drops down in one line, so it's almost got a vertical line going down using some of these little gels, I guess. I'll look up the name and add it down the bottom. And yeah, so yes, I add a few other bits to other places, but try and keep them, I've tried to keep it sort of more in that vertical bit and then just sort of near that other cluster where those wee stickers and things are. So I use 3 different colours, a dark pink, a light pink and the white, and that sort of tied in with some of the other main colours that I had used throughout this layout as well. The problem with using these is that you need to give them time to dry before they're quite ready so you don't smear them. Hey, thanks for watching. Head over to the Confessions of a Paper Addict Cutfile store on Etsy. Check out the group and the Facebook page if you're interested in finding out more. Thank you for watching. If you like this, give this a thumbs up. Thanks to my subscribers, and also those who may want to subscribe, hit that subscribe button. Thanks.